This is the CX-90. Now this is the first year for the CX-90 debuting as a 2024 model. Now it's a larger and beefier than the CX-9, but it's also 3 rows. But that's not all. This is a plug-in hybrid. Now this is the first plug-in hybrid from Mazda, and it's pretty good. There are a few little quirks that they need to work out in the powertrain, but I don't think you'll be disappointed. You know, it's always been easy to notice a Mazda coming down the road because they just do front fascia styling right. You know, this is the Premium Plus trim, and it is in Artisan Red. Now, to me, it's got a little bit of metallic look to it, but it looks more like a black cherry. But let's get a look at these wheels. These are some nice 21-inch wheels. You got dark charcoal gray here, and then you've got a machined face on there. Mazda has always taken a step up when it comes to their wheels. They go above and beyond what regular OEM wheels look like, and they put out aftermarket looking wheels throughout their lineup. Now let's go check out that eSky Active hybrid powertrain. Hey, look at that. A manufacturer that still uses an engine cover. That makes things look pretty nice. And if you want to see that engine, you just have to twist here, and we can pop that right on up for you. It's pretty cool. How about that? It even comes with a strap to hold that engine cover up so I can show you guys this awesome engine. This CX-90 plug-in hybrid comes with a 2.5-liter inline 4-cylinder with an electric drive motor. The 4-cylinder engine produces 189 horsepower and 192 foot-pounds of torque. Now, according to Mazda, the electric drive motor produces 173 horsepower and 199 foot-pounds of torque for a combined 323 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque, which is tied to a brand new 8-speed automatic transmission and all-wheel drive. How's the acceleration? How about 0 to 60 in 6.2 seconds? That's not too bad, is it? This also gets the lithium-ion battery pack, and it's listed at 17.8 kilowatt hour with 26 miles of electric-only range. But we were able to achieve a little bit better than that in our electric-only range test. Now, fuel economy comes in at 25 miles per gallon for the engine only, and the electric portion is rated at 56 miles per gallon equivalent. On paper, that combination will result in about 35 miles per gallon over 100 miles. But we got a different number in our real-world mile per gallon test. Both of those videos will be linked at the end of this and down in the description when they are ready. All right, so let's take a look at the space in the back. A decent amount of space, not horrible. Let's take a closer look. Yeah, you've got some power outlets back here. You can turn this on. You got a 120 volt there. Do you have 2? There's actually 2. That is awesome. And a 12 volt. That's pretty good. What do we got underneath here? Just your towing stuff and your tire. Oh, and your charger comes with it. That's awesome. So in the back here behind the third row, you got 14.9 cubic feet. That is not too bad. And let's check it and see how these back seats drop. And pull the handle, push, and they drop down. All right, handle and push, and they drop down. Now you have pretty close to a flat floor, and you get 40 cubic feet behind the second row. Now, if we drop the second row seats, let's check that out. Oh yeah, these fold all the way flat on that side. And now you have 74.2 cubic feet with all the seats down. I know everybody wants to know, how much stuff can you actually get behind this third row? Well, let's go get our luggage and see how much we can get in here. Okay, here is our luggage. We got a large suitcase, medium suitcase, a small suitcase, a carry-on, and 2 duffel bags. See if we can get it all in that space right there. Well, the 2 largest aren't going to work in there together. Let's take that one out. I think this small one, well, I don't think that small one's going to work either, because I don't think this is going to close. So we're not going to be able to do that either. So let's take the big one out. Even with stand it up, you can see it's too tall. So let's get that one out of here. We know we can't use that. Let's see if we can get these 2 smaller ones in. That's not gonna work that way. Lay it down. This one, now, we can get that closed. That shouldn't be a problem. So there's a large suitcase and a medium-sized suitcase. Or get rid of the little suitcase. And you have a carry-on to go here. That will fit in there just fine. Put that one in just like that. And then you could, if you needed to, put a couple duffel bags in there. But then you're gonna be blocking your rear view. So what do you have to do? You gotta drop those second row seats. This little area right here is not gonna hold a whole lot. Drop those second row seats real quick. You can drop one and leave the other one up if that's all you need is one more seat back there. Now, we can get all of this in here. Now we are all in with plenty of room to spare. Now everything is in and you still have room on top of these bags if you needed to. Plus there's other ways that you could arrange that to get even more stuff in there if you needed to do that. But that just kind of gives you an idea of how much space is in the back. Here's a side profile of this CX-90, but let's go check out the interior now. There's your door panel, mostly black. You do have some beige stitching on the door handle right here, and you do have a nice soft pad for your elbow. You do have a little bit of kind of a satiny aluminum look. This piece is a plastic piece that kind of replicates maybe some carbon fiber look to it. Come around to the inside here and we have the Napa leather seats. They are black with the beige stripe down the middle of them. It does have the beige stitching on it also. These are powered with lumbar. Take a quick look around the interior. See what you guys think of this. We'll go over everything here in just 1 second. Okay, we start on the other side. So there is some more of that carbon fiber look material. It's just plastic, but it does look nice. And I like the way the vents are vertical on the sides, but they are horizontal on in the middle. So that is really nice. You do have this great big 12.3-inch infotainment screen on this Premium Plus. It does have a lot of information in it. What I like to look at, you have a drive efficiency monitor, which this is your energy flow monitor. So this watches where the power is going from the battery to your rear wheels, or from the engine to the rear wheels, or charging the battery. It's pretty cool to watch that. You can also see how far you drove on just EV and how much energy you were regenning. That's pretty cool. If you go back here, you can also see your current drive efficiency. And then you also have an average efficiency with your history. So that's pretty cool information that it has. And then you have multiple settings, stuff that you can set on inside there. Now if we go back go to the home button. There's more information inside here. You can check out your high voltage battery, gives you the percentage. Right now it's at 97%. The total range with what we have in our gas tank plus the electric range that we have, that'll give us a total of 300 miles. We have 28 miles EV range. This is actually only rated for 26, but we got a little bit better than that earlier. And then you can set your charging schedule and about how long it also tells you how long it's going to take to get it to 100%. So navigation, this does have the Mazda navigation system on it. I understand that it actually is pretty decent. I think I would probably still use my Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, which I have Android Auto, and both of those come wireless on this. So that is a plus. And then you have multiple settings down here. You have EV settings that you can set up, charging schedule. You've got the climate control timer, how far you want it to charge up to. Your regenerative braking, you can set it on low or high, and then you have an EV priority mode, which basically means it will start up in EV mode every time you start the car. And then it will prioritize EV mode until it runs out of battery, then switch over to your gas engine. And then your driving charge target. So you can set this to 30%, 50%, got multiple settings in here. And then you can press the charge button, which is right here. And that, when you do that, then the engine will charge the battery back up to whatever percent that you have it listed at. And then you can shut it off. You shut the charging off, and then your car will switch back to electric until it runs out again. We do have a camera button, so we can take a look at our cameras here. So this is our front view with the 360. We can go to our back view, I think. Here we go, back view. No, just a wide view. This is all the front. Here's maybe the back. Nope, 360. So you can see your doors and all that stuff. So like if I open this door, you can see. It's pretty cool. So now there's your backup camera. You can see it actually is pretty good. You can see quite a bit around you, and it's pretty clear actually. Center display. Looks very cool. On this side, you have your battery power, or actually you have your power. So when it's in EV mode and you see this gray line up here and it goes up to this spot here, when it's in EV mode, you can floor it if you want to. It's going to stay on electric battery and it'll only go up to that much power. And then once you run out, then this line will go away and you will only have the gas engine running. This charge part down here, that is where your regen braking is. So when you let off the gas or you press on the brake, it drops down into here and it will recharge the battery. Now, when you are in normal mode, it will use the electric all the way up to that point, and then if you press the gas down far enough, then it will go into this power band up here, and that will kick in the 2.5 liter engine to give you a little bit more power and get up to speed, and then it'll go back to the electric drive motor. So this is your battery charge right here, and then this is your gas tank down here in the middle. Okay, up here there is your miles per kilowatt hour. So that's how many miles you drive per kilowatt hour of your battery, which is 17.9 kilowatt hours. And then you have miles per gallon, which right now it's at 80. This doesn't register anything higher than 80, but we've been driving on electric a lot, so it's way up over 80 miles per gallon right now. Then you have 300-mile range total with gas and electric. You have just electric, 27 miles. Your odometer over there and the outside temperature, and then there is your trip there, so you can switch that around. So the Mazda steering wheel pretty much stays the same. So you've got your cruise control right here and your adaptive right here. You set it, resume, plus and minus. On this side, stereo, buttons all right here, voice activation, phone, and your info. Now the info will change the instrument display over on this side. Not a whole lot there. So there's your temperature and Then your eye active sense status lets you know that everything is working okay. Compass, and then the information again. So not a whole lot to do there. All right, let's move on to the goodies. Okay, so climate control. Love the climate control. You have a heated steering wheel. You have heated and cooled seats in this Premium Plus package. All your buttons are right down here. You can see your auto button is right here, temperature up and down here. On this side, you have a sync button and temperature up and down here. AC over here. You've got your rear control there, so I can control everything that's going on in the back side. And that's the rest of your climate control stuff. Now down here, you have the MI drive. Now we'll take a look at that up here, your MI drive. So you have Sport, which will engage the engine all of the time. Then and it's pretty cool. I mean, look at that. Look at all that red. That's pretty awesome. And then you go to normal. And that's what you normally drive in. So that's why it's called normal. Your EV, and that's going to turn everything kind of a blue and purple and everything. That's pretty cool. And it stays like that. And then you're off-road. When you go off-road, you get a little bit of a brown kind of tinge to everything. Like having a standard shifter right here, it's really easy to use, except for the fact that when you want to put this in drive, you have to pull the button, push it over, that goes to reverse, then you got neutral, then you got drive. So then to park, you have to go up and then push over. A little bit different, but I still like having a manual shifter instead of buttons. Here you've got hill descent control, and there is your camera button. And you got two cup holders here. You've got a wireless charging pad right here, along with a 12-volt plug. No USBs up here. We'll see those back here a little bit farther. Here, this is your dial to control this up here. So you can turn it back and forth. It is a little odd. It would be nice if this was a touch screen, because funny thing is this is not a touch screen, but when you have Android Auto or Apple CarPlay on it, it is a touch screen. So I don't know why they chose to do that and not just make it a touch screen all the time, but it is, you do get used to using this dial, and it actually is pretty easy to use. You have a back button. This is a quick button to your navigation, to your music, and then the home that brings up all of your settings. Your electric parking brake, you got auto hold, and then you have a favorites button, and then here is your volume for your stereo, which is pretty cool. I actually like it being right there. Now, this is one of those split armrests, which I love. Love the split armrests. Only bad thing is this is not very deep. It is about the length of my fingers deep. That's about it. But I've got a decent amount of stuff in there, so I think it'll be okay. And that's where you will find your USB-C plugs. And it works pretty good. Cord just comes out through the middle in between the two. Very nice. All right, you have a glove box, standard, and it is pretty big. So that's a plus. Way to go, Mazda. One last thing that you get with this Premium Plus is the panoramic roof, and it does have a sunshade, which is pretty cool. Well, that's everything up front. Let's go to the back and see how I fit back there. All right, let's see how much space is in the back here. Wow, look at those doors open. That is almost a 90-degree angle. That is pretty awesome. Now, I have this in my driving position. These are maneuverable. I had it slid up just a minute ago. That is all the way back. You can see I have, I don't know, 2-3 inches right there behind the seat. So plenty of room for my knees, headspace, another 2 to 3 inches headspace, not a problem. I am about 6 foot, shouldn't have any problem sitting back here. Now, if you have somebody getting in the third row, you can slide this seat up so you are comfortable. I can put my feet a little underneath here. I can slide out, relax. I still have about an inch. And if I come forward one more notch, I'm just barely touching the back of the seat. Probably not gonna bother me if I need to give a little more space back there. But let's say you want to be just comfortable, not touching the seat. And these seats also do recline if you need them to. Not much, but they do. All right, let's hop back in the back and see how much space we got back there. Okay, so we've got a handle up top here. We're gonna pull. This slides forward, decent space to crawl in. Pretty easy to get in, not really a problem. Now we'll pull this seat back. Right there. All right, so you can see my headroom. My hair is just touching the top there, but to my head is probably about an inch or so. So not too bad. There's actually generous amount of room back here. You do have 2 cup holders on this side and 2 cup holders on the other side. And you have a USB-C port back here. So that's pretty cool. You can see that there is plenty of room. Now, since I slid this back, it's probably set in the farthest to the front setting, which, as you saw earlier, my knees were just barely touching. I was still going to be comfortable, but you can see there is probably 4 inches that this person could actually come back if they wanted to and it not be a problem. So good room back here. I'm really surprised. Be very comfortable on a trip back here. I wouldn't have a problem sitting here. Now, for those of you that were wondering, where are the parrot pigs? Well, here they are. And to let you know, this is a 7-seater 3-row SUV. Here you go. There they are. There are 3 seat belts back there. They are in there perfectly fine with plenty of room. So there they are. There's the parrot pigs. They are ready for a ride. Okay, so you guys have seen the inside and the outside, the cargo space. You've heard all the numbers on the engine and all that. So let's go take this out for a drive and let's talk about how it feels. I don't know how many people take these plug-in hybrids and do a electric only 0 to 60 in them, but I did one on the Toyota Prius Prime, and I'm gonna do one right now. So I am going to switch us into EV mode. So we're only electric, we're in drive, ready. We're gonna go 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, so that does not work. So you have a button underneath this pedal that engages the engine. So let's try this one more time. And instead, I will make sure I don't slam it to the floor. All right, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I am full without igniting that button. And 40, 50, 60. All right, it took quite a while to get there. So maybe we'll figure out some way to time that, and I will put the number up on the screen. But that was kind of interesting. It is not as good as what it's anticipated. But the power on this is actually 323 horsepower. So it does have a good amount of power. And the first time I drove this in early March at a media event, I only had about 20 minutes with the car, and I didn't get to experience it a lot, but I did remember that it had good power, a little bit more power than what the Honda Pilot Trail Sport had, and I was really impressed by this. So we are going to do a 0 to 60, and in just a second I am going to put it in sport mode. Now, what's cool about this is it engages the electric drive motors along with the gas engine. So we'll get turned around as soon as someone is not coming. Ready? We'll brake torque. And go. Safety. Woo! That actually is pretty good. It says 6.2 seconds. It's every bit of that. I wouldn't be surprised you can get it a little bit faster than that. I almost feel that maybe I shouldn't brake torque it. Maybe we can do it again real quick and not brake torque it, see if it gets any faster. Nobody's here. No brake torque. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, it's got a lot of pull. 60. Impressive. Yeah, this has a lot of kick, a lot of pull. It was pulling me into my seat. That was actually pretty awesome. Power acceleration, very good, very impressive, and really like it. As for the suspension and the driving dynamics, suspension I feel is pretty good. It's a little on the stiff side, maybe for an SUV, but this seems to be a little bit sportier SUV. It's kind of what Mazda has always done, was always like their vehicles to be a little on the sporty side. So I'm not going to really fault them for that. A lot of people are going to enjoy the way that this drives. Now, the handling of it, it does a good job. I think it is very good for most people. I feel that it likes to pull and kind of has a little bit more body roll than I would like. For as stiff as the suspension feels when you're driving down the road and hitting some bumps and stuff in the road, I would feel like this would stick a little better and not have so much body roll in the corners, but it does have a decent amount. There are worse. There are definitely worse. This one is actually not that bad. One downfall that I am not enjoying, and that is these seats. These seats are stiff and they're hard, and I don't feel comfortable, and my wallet is shoving so hard into my hip. Now that is my problem. I can just take my wallet out and it probably wouldn't be that bad, but there's not much bolstering on the sides of it. So I feel like when we go around those corners that I am kind of sliding. There's just not a whole lot of bolstering on this. I would like to have a little bit more than that. The seating area itself feels stiff and hard. It needs to be a little bit softer. It's the way that I feel about it. I think we had this same issue with the Mazda CX-90 when we had the same similar seats. So that is the worst part about it, but that is not everyone. There are probably lots of people out there that really love these seats and think that they are great. So that's just a preference of mine. It's the way that it feels on me. So moving on, the next is let's talk about the cockpit area. The screens are phenomenal. I love this big screen up here. I wish it was touchscreen all the time and not just when you had Apple CarPlay set on it. Let's give you guys something a little bit better to look at, which might be a little cool. All of this is really good. I really do like the way everything is laid out. Steering wheel, easy to figure out. Display in front, very good. Puts the traffic sign warning. It's got the stop sign on there right now. Says the speed, everything I need to know. This gives me all the information that I ever need to know. Very impressed with that. The climate control buttons, easy to get to. I can touch all of that, no problem there. Drive modes, all of this stuff is very, very good. Mazda, you did a great job making this feel good and feel comfortable, and everything to be accessible and easy to get to. Even the wiper stock and the turn signals, I can read everything on these without having to really lean unless there's something underneath that I really need to look at. Most of this, I can read everything that's on these, so that is another plus. That is a good job of positioning those. So let's talk about driver assistance. Now, the driver assistance on this is pretty good. It does have blind spot monitoring. It has adaptive cruise control with multiple settings on that. You do have lane departure warning and lane keep assist. But this is a Premium Plus trim. It does not have lane centering. I have no idea where it could be. There's 2 missing spots on this steering wheel, and that may be one of them. I think it's a big miss right here. Lane centering is pretty much a must on a premium top-of-the-line trim. One thing that I did notice with this is for an SUV, it doesn't have a whole lot of ground clearance. And what it reminds me of is kind of like a minivan or the Chrysler Pacifica. That's kind of what it reminds me of. What's good about this is that Mazda kept it sporty, which is what they do. Zoom, zoom, right? That is their catchphrase, zoom, zoom. So they did a good job with that. 3 rows, a lot of room in that back row. You guys saw that earlier, that I had plenty of room back there, and the second row seats being adjustable makes it easy for anyone to sit back there. That's all I've got for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you did, make sure you click the like button. If you're not subscribed, go down, hit the subscribe button so you can see more reviews and all of the videos that we do on this, because we do a lot more, and they will be linked in one of the boxes on the screen, and whatever else is on the screen is what YouTube thinks that you want to watch. So thanks for joining me, and I will see you in the next one.